Let's get more now on the search for the missing Malaysian Airlines Flight MH370. Joining me now
On 8th March 2014, at 12:42 a.m., a flight took off from Kuala Lumpur.
It's pretty incredible that this search is resuming after all this time, isn't it?
It was heading to Beijing with 227 passengers, 10 crew members, and 2 pilots. One pilot was 53 years old, a senior captain. The other was 27 years old on a training flight. For 20 minutes, the plane followed the right path. At 1:08 a.m., it crossed Malaysia's coast and entered the South China Sea. The pilot reported, all normal at 35,000 feet. At 1:19 a.m., air traffic control in Kuala Lumpur said, "Contact Bo Chai Min." The pilot replied, "Good night, MAS 370. That was the last message. At 1:21 a.m., the plane vanished from radar. No distress signal, no response. The world's biggest aviation mystery had begun. At 12:42 a.m., 8 March 2014, a flight took off from Kuala Lumpur for Beijing with 239 people on board. It flew smoothly for 20 minutes, reaching 35,000 feet. At 1:08 a.m., it entered Vietnamese airspace. The last message, "Good night, MAS 370. Then, silence. At 1:21 a.m., the flight vanished from radar. Vietnam's air traffic control tried to contact but got no response. After 18 minutes, they alerted Malaysia. No action was taken for 4 hours. Search efforts began in the South China Sea, but 4 days later, military radar showed the plane near the Andaman Islands, the opposite direction. The world was stunned. Where did it go? Why did it turn? The biggest aviation mystery had begun. At 1:21 a.m., the plane vanished from the radar. The Kuala Lumpur control thought it had entered Vietnam's airspace, but in Vietnam, controllers saw it disappear suddenly. They tried to contact it, but no response. For 18 minutes, they kept calling. Then, they alerted Kuala Lumpur. The plane was missing, but an emergency response didn't start immediately. According to rules, search operations should begin within 1 hour. Instead, it took 4 hours. By 6:32 a.m., when the plane should have landed in Beijing, panic spread. A massive search began. 34 ships and 28 aircraft from 7 countries scanned the South China Sea. But after days of searching, there was no trace. Then, on March 12, a shocking discovery. A military radar had tracked the plane. It wasn't over the South China Sea, but near Andaman Islands, flying in the opposite direction. At 2:22 a.m., a shocking discovery changed everything. The plane was last seen, not over the South China Sea, but near the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It had turned completely westward, flying the opposite way of Beijing. This was seen on a military radar, but civilian radars had already lost track of it. The aircraft was flying north, moving past Malaysia, over the Strait of Malacca. The search, once focused on the South China Sea, now had a new direction. Could the plane have crashed near India or gone as far as Kazakhstan? Days later, satellite data revealed another twist. The plane was still flying hours after it disappeared from radars, but its exact location remained a mystery. After the plane vanished, investigators discovered an unusual signal. The plane attempted to communicate with a satellite multiple times. These signals, known as handshakes, were detected 7 times after the flight lost contact. But there was a problem. These signals did not include the plane's location. It was like a phone trying to connect to Wi-Fi without sharing its exact position. Investigators used the angle of the satellite's antenna to estimate where the plane might have been. Each handshake created a circular path. The final signal, known as the 7th arc, was crucial. It suggested that the plane was somewhere in the Indian Ocean, 2,000 kilometers west of Australia. Despite massive search operations, no immediate evidence was found. It wasn't until 2015 that the first debris piece washed up on an island. This discovery confirmed the plane had crashed. But even after years of searching, the exact wreckage location remained a mystery. The search began at 6:32 a.m. when the flight didn't land. Teams searched the South China Sea, but nothing was found. 34 ships and 28 aircraft from 7 countries joined. After 4 days, A military radar revealed shocking news. The plane wasn't in the South China Sea. Instead, it was last seen near the Andaman and Nicobar Islands at 2:22 a.m. This changed everything. Investigators used satellite data to track the plane. They discovered 7 satellite handshakes, with the last one placing the plane on the 7th arc, 2,000 kilometers west of Australia. Despite spending $160 million in 3 years, the search was called off. Later, in 2015, a flaperon washed ashore on Ronian Island. A new search in 2018 used advanced underwater vehicles, mapping deep ocean cliffs and volcanoes. But after months, the mission failed. With 27 debris pieces found worldwide, the mystery remains. Experts now believe the plane is hidden deep within the 7th arc, waiting to be found. The night was dark, and the sky was calm. But then, 1:21 a.m., silence fell. The plane vanished from radar. Many theories tried to explain this mystery. One idea was pilot intentional crash. It was said that the 53-year-old captain turned off communication and flew the plane towards the ocean. A flight simulator found at home showed a similar path, but there was no personal or financial issue. No clear reason. Another theory was hijacking. 2 passengers had fake passports, stolen from Italy and Austria, but they were just seeking asylum, not terrorists. Some believed in oxygen deficiency. A fire or technical failure could have cut oxygen. Everyone inside would have passed out. The plane, still on autopilot, kept flying until fuel ran out. Other wild ideas spread. Alien abduction, military shootdown, secret hijack. But none had proof. Years passed. In 2015, the first debris washed up on an island. In 2022, a new study pointed to a precise crash site. Yet, the deep ocean still guards its secret. On 8 March 2014, a flight took off from Kuala Lumpur with 239 people on board. It was heading to Beijing, but after 1:21 a.m., it vanished from all radars. A massive search began, but no sign of the plane was found. A shocking discovery came 4 days later. A military radar detected the plane far from its route, flying towards the Andaman Islands. Why did it change direction? Some believe the plane was hijacked and taken to a secret location. Another theory suggests a cover-up. Some say a powerful nation shot it down and hid the evidence. Others believe the Bermuda Triangle has shifted, swallowing the plane. Years passed with no answers. In 2015, the first debris washed ashore. But where was the rest? A scientist in 2022 claimed he found the location -4 kilometers underwater in the Indian Ocean. But still, no search was done. Did someone hide the truth? Was it a hijack, a secret mission, or something else? The world still waits for answers. In 2022, a retired aerospace engineer claimed to solve the biggest mystery of aviation. He used the Lewis-Parnett radio wave technology to track the lost flight. This method detects weak signals bouncing off the atmosphere. By analyzing these signals, he pinpointed the plane's location. According to his research, the plane is on the 7th arc, nearly 4 kilometers underwater. This area was searched before, but due to deep underwater cliffs and volcanoes, the wreckage may have been missed. His calculations showed the exact crash site with a 40 nautical miles accuracy. He suggested a new search operation in this limited area. Unlike previous missions that cost $160 million, this one would be much smaller and more focused. A drift analysis also supports this claim. Ocean currents carried 27 pieces of debris to different islands. These findings match his predicted crash site. Some experts doubt his method, but he believes that in 1 year, the mystery could finally be solved. In 2018, a private company started a new search. They had advanced underwater vehicles. Their mission was simple: no find, no fee. If they failed, they wouldn't take any money. They searched deep in the 7th arc, scanning mountains and underwater volcanoes. But after months, they found nothing. The mission failed. Then, in 2022, an expert came forward with a bold claim. He said he had solved the mystery using radio wave technology. His calculations pointed to a spot 4 kilometers under the ocean. He believed this was the plane's final resting place. His analysis matched drift studies. By then, 27 pieces of debris had already washed up on different islands. The currents supported his findings. He suggested a new search in a 40 nautical mile radius. This was a much smaller area than before. He said, "If we search here, we will find it." Some doubted his methods, but he was sure. He believed that if the search began now, in just 1 year, the truth would finally be revealed. This mystery might finally be solved. But what about other chilling cases? Don't miss the creepiest unsolved murders that still haunt investigators in our next video. Hit subscribe now so you never miss a mind-blowing story. The truth is out there. Are you ready to uncover it?